Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, kindly type one in the chat box. All right. If you can hear me, kindly type one in the chat box. Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, type one in the chat box. If you can hear me, type one in the chat box. Let me know. Type one in the chat box if you can hear me. I want to know if you people can hear me. If you can hear me, type one in the chat box. Okay. All right, let's move on. All right, I hope everyone is doing well. So if you just joined the stream, kindly give a like to the stream. If you just joined the stream, kindly give a like to the stream. If you just joined, kindly give a like to the stream. Okay, so let's do some chart breakdown and see if there was going to be an opportunity for us. Yeah, so gradually we are killing the year. I hope everything is doing well. So it's not only about making profit. That's what I would say. It is not only about making profit. The progress can be you've learned something significantly that is going to improve your trading. That's the most important thing. So it's not only about you being able to make profit. Are you able to collect data? Okay. Are you able to collect data? That is the most important thing, because trading is all about, most often or majority of the times, trading is all about data collection. Have you collected data? okay, that you can reflect on, because it's like statistical department or service. If you collect more data, you are going to know which one mostly works in the market. So if you are not making money this year, so far where you've gotten to in the year, if you have not made money so far, and you have been able to collect data to know which one works, you need to it's also a win. That's how I should classify it. It's also a win if you have been able to collect data to this far. If you have been able to collect data to this far of the year, you need to also count it as a win. Okay, because all those data that you've collected is going to be what, something you are going to depend on. It is something that is going to print you money. So those who are in my inner circle, I mostly tell them this is what I mostly tell them. I tell them, if you miss a trade, okay, if you see a big move and you notice that, oh, this thing you could have even taken advantage of, and like you weren't able to take it, just call it a win, because as you are learning from that, okay, as you are learning from that, it's going to be a win. A time is going to come, you are going to be taking those trades. Okay, so the most important thing, you need to collect data. Data collection is very, very important. You need to collect data. Okay, you need to collect data. So if you are not having a data and you are, that is fact. Trading is not for everybody, because some people will start the journey and they are going to give up. It's fine, because their mindset is wrong. The mindset they are bringing into the journey, the game is wrong. Trading is a profession, and for every profession, since it takes time, why do you want to get it a week? If it is easy, then everyone will be doing it. If it is something that you are going to get it in a day, a week, then everyone will stop whatever is doing, or whatever, any work that the person is doing, then will start doing trading. So trading is supposed to be hard. So the only thing that is going to give you confidence is when you have data. Data collection is very, very important. If you have a data, something that proves that, oh, this thing has worked several times, you are going to rely on those things and execute those things. But if you don't have data, then it's going to be very hard for you. So you need to start collecting data. Keep records of your trades that you've taken, the winning trades. Keep on repeating them, okay, and start observing. That is the most important thing. Start observing. All right, so I don't want to bore you with a lot of talks. Let's move on to the charts. So let's check out the fundamental. So with the fundamental analysis, let's check out the fundamental analysis and see, maybe during the weekend we had some high impact news. So one thing is what everyone wants to like enjoy, everyone wants to experience the life, but when it comes to putting in the work, everyone is like, no one wants to put in, most of them don't want to put in the work. That is the fact. Everyone wants to enjoy the lives, everyone wants to travel, everyone wants to stay in the good apartments and stay in the good places. But all those things, from my experience in life, it doesn't come easy. It comes with a lot of work. Okay, it comes with a lot of work. You need to invest in yourself a lot. Invest in education, learning, then it will get you there. So if it is easy, everyone will be doing it. So Trump Los Angeles has been invaded and occupied by illegal allies and criminals. Trump Los Angeles has been invaded. US inflation to take higher as tariffs. Okay, so you don't have any major impact news during the weekend. Okay, you don't have any major impact news during the weekend. So pound to euro week ahead forecast, sterling vulnerable to UK jobs and GDP. We don't have any high in China. May export slow, deflation deepens as tariffs bite. Weekly market pause, extension day. So yeah, There's no high impact news during the weekend. So today is Monday. We are going to be having bank holidays on CHF, Euro, and French bank holiday. So we don't have any GBP bank holiday. So I think the lending is cool. But one thing you need to understand is what today is Monday, and mostly on Mondays the market becomes very slow. You get it? The market becomes very, very slow. So on Mondays we need to understand. Okay, on Mondays we need to understand and move on. Mondays are very slow and it becomes very tricky. Mondays are very, very tricky when it comes to trading. Okay, especially the currency market. Mondays are very tricky. Most often, even a high probability or high trade setup will align or will set up perfectly. But one thing you get to understand is what, when it comes to trade execution, when it comes to the trade playing out, then you see what, you see freakiness. You start seeing the market not playing out, and more often, and you might end up losing confidence in your system. So with Mondays, I'm very, very conservative. I'm very slow. I'm not aggressive when it comes to Mondays. Most often my trading activities mostly start on Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. And Fridays during the lending session, that's when I'm mostly active on. But Mondays, I'm kind of, because Mondays, the price is now kind of forming, trying to give us the trends and those stuffs. So I'm kind of very reserved on Mondays. So if you have tuned into the channel, or if you have tuned into the stream, kindly give a like to the stream. Give a like to the stream and kindly give a like to the stream. Give a like to the stream. So you've talked about the fundamentals and the economic events. We don't have any major impact news for today. Okay, CHF, Euro, and we don't have any GDP or GBP. We don't have GBP. What do you call it? News events. All right. So let's move to the technical aspect and see. So the same thing every day. Nothing changes. The same thing every day. So we are going to break down some charts, some of the currency pairs, and at the same time we move to commodities and see what you are going to be expecting. Okay, so with commodities, let's start with gold and see what you're expecting it to happen on gold. So with commodities, let's move to the monthly time frame on gold USD. So on the monthly time frame, we're doing our top-down analysis. I really, really love chart breakdown. So moving to the monthly time frame, on the higher time frame. Okay, on the higher time frame, looking to your left, you don't have any data to your left. Looking to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, you have some form of consolidation over here. We had some form of consolidation over here. So there's a rejectional level over here. There was a rejectional level over here at the weekly rejectional level over here. Okay, so let's analyze the previous week candle. So if you watch the previous week candle very carefully, you get to understand that the candle gave us a long bias exhaustion candle. Okay, long bias exhaustion candle. Reading the candle very carefully, you get to understand that this is what buyers have lost control. Okay, because buyers were moving price, they drove price. Okay, so what this candle means is what buyers have lost momentum, or they've lost control in the market. What we are expecting is what this candle tells us: buyers have lost control. But most often what happens is what, when you see something of this, we can get a wick fill. Okay, we can get a wick fill. So looking at the current candle, we mostly consider candle structure and pattern structure. So looking at the candle structure, we notice that the previous weekly low has been broken. So at this point, candle structure is a downtrend. Okay, candle structure is a downtrend because the previous, it is not something common or usual. Usual. I can't even pronounce the word. It is not something. Let me use my simple. It's not something common for the weekly candle for the ongoing daily at the weekly time frame. Candle structure is a downtrend. So the way the candle is forming, okay, the way the current candle is forming, looking at this candle, we are expecting a wick fill before, even if it will start bouncing back or moving down or downtrend, that's fine. But at this point, we are expecting a wick fill over here. By the candle structure too is a downtrend, so it's kind of very dicey at this point. Okay, we are having this weekly zone over here. If you change it to a line chart, you get to understand that this weekly zone over here is something crucial at the weekly time frame. Okay, so let's look at the pattern structure too. So looking at the pattern structure, you get to understand that what the trend is, what an uptrend. Okay, the trend is an uptrend. Candle structure is a downtrend. The trend is an uptrend. But most of pay attention, or you don't focus much on the weekly trends, okay, candles trends and those things, because we are kind of day traders. Okay, we focus mostly on what the section is doing, the sectional trend. That's what we mostly pay attention to. We don't focus much, we don't give much energy on what the weekly trends. We mostly give our energy on the sectional trends. Okay, so the sectional trend can be the daily trend or what the H4 trend. Let's say the H4 trend, that's what we most often pay attention to. Okay, so looking at the daily time frame, so this is where mostly we are kind of bothered, or we are kind of concerned on the trends and what the candle is doing. So let's read the candle, let's combine the zones and everything. So this is something we got at the what we got this thing at the weekly time, at the daily time frame, this zone, and you see it's aligned perfectly on what the daily. So let's consider the trend, the daily trend. Let's consider the daily trend. Let's consider the daily trend. Let's consider the daily trend. Okay, and the candle structure, what the candle is doing, and the daily trend. So with the daily trend, let's consider the daily trend. So what's the daily trend? What's the trend? The pattern structure. So looking at the candle structure, it's a downtrend, but it has gotten to this zone is very, very strong, and it will take, unless maybe Trump tweets something, before this level can be broken, because we got this level from the weekly time, a lot of momentum. Okay, a lot of seller frame. How many rejection? How many key levels over here? We're having one key level, 2, 3. You get it? So 3 touches over here. 1, 2, 3 touches over here. So it's also I'll mute it all this while. Wow. And some people are listening. So, can you hear me now? I was muted. Can you hear me now? Is it clear now? If it is clear, kindly type 1 in the chat box. If you can hear me loud and clear, kindly type 1 in the chat box. If you can hear me clear, kindly type 1 in the chat box. Okay. So Kwesi are there. You've been on the stream for a very long time. You can't hear me and you were just listening. You were just there. Whilst you are not getting anything. Okay. All right. Okay. So thank you. Yeah. So at this point, what we are expecting at the daily time frame, we're expecting a continuation of the trend, because the daily time frame trend is what? An uptrend. Let's move to the H4 and see. So at the H4 time frame, the trend is what? A downtrend. Okay, at the H4 time frame, the trend is a downtrend. But one thing is what? If you are experienced, you can take advantage of this buy, because as price has currently gotten to this rejectional level. And you know the reason why most often I don't take the counter trend. Okay, this is a counter trend. It is against the daily time frame is an uptrend, but mostly I'm much concerned about the weekly H4 time frame levels. That's what most often I'm kind of like pay attention to. So I will consider this move as a counter trend, since it is against the what? H4 trend. So we had last week we had a lot of consolidation on gold price, consolidated, and when the NFP, during NFP, we got a breakout price. So at this point, what you are expecting is what? A pullback, then the trend will continue. Okay, so what I don't like about the counter trend when it comes to trading counter trend is what? You don't know when the correction is going to end or when the reversal is going to end. That is why mostly I don't entertain trading a pullback or trading corrections. Okay, that's why most often I don't entertain. So I've been saying some people can use Fibonacci to track the rejectional levels. Pull up Fibonacci, then these are the various rejectional levels. These are going to be the various rejectional levels, but I don't use Fibonacci. I mostly use the levels that are clear to me to be what? To for a price to correct. Okay, so these are various resistance levels when you pull up the Fibonacci levels. But with this counter trend, as I'm saying, you don't know when the correction is going to end. Okay, so I will prefer to wait for a clarity. I love trading the trend continuation, price pulling back, then I'll take the continuation of the trend. I don't like taking corrections. Okay, so with trading, know what works for you. Okay, know what works for you. Don't be everywhere. Don't try to do everything some. If you try to do everything some, you are going to mess up with your data. So the data you've collected, execute on those data. Okay, execute on those data. So this is the H4 time frame, and we can get a pullback to this level because you don't have any, so you can get a pullback to this level. Okay, so this is all a move that can happen. So let's move to the lower time frames. So the lower time frames, we have this rejectional levels over here, so it's not looking clean. So at this point, I'm not interested in this buy. Okay, it can move a buy because I'm saying price can pull back. So don't get me wrong. We can get a buy. Price can move to this side. I'm not seeing any fundamentals that is saying maybe the US economy is not, the health of the economy is bad. I'm not seeing something of that sort. Okay, I'm not seeing something of that sort. So at this point, what I'm expecting, at this point, I'm not seeing anything of that sort over here. I'm not seeing any high impact folder. So based on relying on technical analysis solely, what I'm expecting it to happen, I don't take counter trend, I don't take reversals. The buy can happen, some people can be eating from the buy. I don't care. My own, I'm waiting for my own blessing pullback. Okay, then wherever it's going to, get me wrong, the buy can happen, but I'm not interested. Okay, because when it comes to counter trend, it's kind of very choppy. So with trending market, the market moves smoothly, but when it comes to corrections, the market starts behaving like this. With correction, this is what most often we see. Okay, it's kind of very choppy. Okay, it's kind of very choppy. So I'm waiting for a trend to maybe anywhere that it will reverse, and I'll take the continuation of the trend. Okay, I'll take the continuation of the trend. That's what I'm expecting it to happen. Okay, then I'll take it. So I'm interested in the sell. When it aligns, when it finish aligning, then I'll take a sell. So maybe you can have something like this. So maybe it can come to this side. That's fine. I'm not. So I'm waiting for it. It can be today, it can be tomorrow, or in the course of the week, we can get a sell. That's what I'm expecting. So during the NFP, people were contemplating, people were doubting, like people were kind of very doubting, guessing on where price is going to go. If you understand how to read trend, you will get to understand that what the trend was clearly what a downtrend. Okay, based on market structure, you get to understand that the trend was clearly what a downtrend at this point. So price broke out from the zone, pulled back. So we expect the continuation, and it's to pull back now. Okay, not a buy unless we see something significant. Unless maybe price break above this one, then we can we take a buy. Don't get me wrong, if you look at the daily time frame, the daily time frame trend is an uptrend, so you can still get a continuation, but know the time frame that you mostly use for your focus as your focus time frame. My focus time frame always, because one thing I've observed is what most often the market the algorithm is programmed on the H4 time frame, so it mostly respect the H4 trend. So I prefer using the H4 trend. So I will wait for price to come to this side before I will take the sell. So that's what I'm expecting on gold. I'm not interested in this buy. Those who are interested can be taking the buy, but I'm not interested for now. So let's see. So one of my the currency pairs that I'm looking forward to take. Okay, so today is Monday, so I'm very reserved. The week should be good. I don't have to mess the week at the early day of the week. So let's move to the GBP USD and see. So with GBP USD on the monthly time frame, let's be fast with analysis. On the monthly time frame, there was this rejectional level over here at the monthly time frame. There was another rejectional level too over here at the monthly time frame. So these are the various rejectional levels. So as I'm saying, if you are new to the channel, one thing you need to understand is what trading, everyone sees the market differently. Okay, so if you see me breaking down the charts like this way, don't get it confused. This is my way. This is what works for me. Okay, so you can meet trader B and he's also going to do things differently. Know what works for you. Don't be everywhere. Okay, don't be everywhere. Collect data collection is very, very important. Okay, if you are waiting for someone to do that for you, then I'm sorry, baby. I'm very, very sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so looking at the weekly time frame, these are the various rejectional levels at the weekly time frame. So the trend is what? An uptrend. You can see it's very clear. Price is doing more of what? Higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. At this point, you are expecting what you're expecting is what price to, as it is heading to this side, you get a pullback, then you get a continuation of the trend. Okay, you get a continuation of the trend. So looking at the daily time frame at this point, at the daily time frame, this is various. So these levels are very, very, very potential. These levels are very, very hot, important. Anytime price will get to those levels, there was going to be a reaction. So there was a reactional level over here. So the zones that we are, so the daily time frame is an uptrend. Let's look at the H4 time frame. H4 time frame is a downtrend. Okay, so price made higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So the moment it broke over here, the trend shifted towards so you see what is happening on gold is the same thing that happened on this buy. So the trend, the daily time frame was an uptrend, and we had what, a counter trend. So this is a counter trend. So this is a perfect example of what I'm expecting it to happen on gold. So the buy, so this buy, I wasn't interested in this buy. Okay, but you see how it's played out. So the same thing that you're expecting it to happen on gold too as well. So it's the same thing. The daily time frame is what, an uptrend. The daily time frame is an uptrend. So at the H4 time frame, this is going to be a counter trend. So the buy can happen, but I'm not interested in the buy. So it's the same thing that happened over here. This is the counter trend. Price continued. Okay, price continued. So at this point, what I'm expecting is what, as the counter trend, there was no indication or nothing shows that the trend has ended. So at this point, what I'm going to be waiting for is what, maybe unless we get a resistance, let the market or let price give you a hand. So the hand that I'm talking about is what, let there be an evidence. Okay, let there be an evidence. What's evidence, or what shows that price is going to sell? So maybe unless you wait for a resistance. Okay, if a resistance fall, if you get a resistance, then it signals that that's what, price is about to head down. You get it? Then it will signal that price is about to what, head down. So this is what I'm expecting it to happen. Then we take the continuation of the trend. Let the market give you a hand. Okay, so all these things you are going to understand when you have data backing it. So unless I see something of this sort, like what happened on last 2 weeks on USD CHF, unless the market gives me something like this before, I will be interested in the. So now, if not, based on from my experience, I'm not going to execute anything that does not align with what I'm seeing. Okay, so I'm expecting a support to be created, then I'll take the sell. Other than that, then for the trend to align with the daily time frame, unless we get a breakout, price broke out from this zone, okay, then we wait for a pullback, we get the continuation of the trend. That's what maybe it can happen. Okay, so that one will be a perfect trade setup because it's going to align with the daily time frame. Okay, so that's GBP USD. So let's look at GBP CAD. So this is one of my favorite currency pairs. GBP CAD this year is one of my favorites. Last year was USD CHF, but this year it's kind of messing up. So this year I'm kind of very, very interested in GBP CAD. It gives every week, most often every week it gives opportunity. Every week it gives opportunity. Last week it gave 2 opportunities. I took advantage of the one, and the one didn't run well. Okay, I took a sell over here, but the market was kind of NFP week, so it's reversed and what later came down. So I got an opportunity to on over here. Was it on Tuesday or so? Let me see, 3rd January. It was Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. But I didn't see it early, so I could have even taken this sell. I could have taken advantage of this sell. So when we had this resistance over here, okay, so I could have taken advantage of this move at the lower time frame. Okay, the 30-minute time frame. When price, this is what, so the H4 time frame has given us a confirmation that price is going to move down, because this is what the trend is, what a downtrend. The daily time frame trend too was a downtrend. Then okay, it's perfect downtrend. So this is where I could have taken advantage of this move. So now the daily H4 are in the same direction, we have this small rejectional level over here. If price gets to this level, we can get a reversal. So you see how I steady from my past move. So you are having this small zone over here. There was this small zone over here, which is 24 pips. It's not bad. So you can't take a sell at the H4 time frame because there was no entry. So this is how I could have taken advantage of the sell as price continue moving up. So this was around 5:30. So 6 o'clock candle. Let's see the 6 o'clock candle. I want price to pull back to this level. So perfect. So price pulled back on this level, giving the M30 gave an opportunity by giving us a bearish candle. So this is where I could have taken advantage of the move, take a buy, a sell over here, place my stop loss below here. This point will be my break even point. The moment price gets to this level, then I'll break even. Okay, but I didn't see it earlier. I was focusing on different time frame, different this thing. Different currency pair. So this point would have been because it's 1-to-1, so I mostly prefer 1-to-2. So I could have extended my target to maybe to this level. Okay, then I will break even the trade. This would have been my thought process, but I didn't see the trade daily. So you see, I've learned from the trade. So when it happens, something of that sort happens again, I'm going to take advantage. So you see, it got to the target perfectly and price started reversing. So Tuesday, I should have taken advantage of this move, but I didn't see it. Okay, so I learned from the move. When it happens again, I'm going to take advantage. And the same move has happened on USD CHF. I was watching it. It happened on USD CHF. Okay, so this week, what you are expecting? This week, what we are expecting on USD GBP CAD? What you are expecting on GBP CAD at the daily time frame? This is the daily time frame. So let me clean everything. So looking at the monthly time frame, price has gotten to the monthly rejectional level. Okay, price has gotten to the monthly rejectional level. So looking at the weekly time frame, we're having this rejectional level over here. Yeah, so looking at the weekly time frame, these are the various rejectional level. These are the various rejectional level at the weekly time frame. Okay, but we are not interested, as I've been saying, we are not interested in what the trends. We are not interested at the weekly time frame. What we are interested in the daily and H4 trends. Okay, with the higher time frames, with the macro time frame or with the macro zones, what you are interested in is what the reactional levels. That's what we are interested in. We are not interested in the trend. We are not interested in what the candle is doing. What you are interested in is what. So let's look at the daily time frame. If you look at the ongoing daily time frame, the candle looks like it opens with no wick, but let's see. Price is currently in a consolidation. So for you to know if price, the market, or the current market or the current price action is going to range is one when you have a lot of reactional levels, a lot of rejectional levels. So we're having a lot of reactional levels over here. Changing it to a line chart, you can see it's very, very clear at this point. We're having a lot of reactional levels. Okay, so June training is also going to happen. So for those who are interested in joining the June training, we are going to be having it on 15th of this month. Okay, so like 6 days to the training. So those who are interested in the training, you can just contact me, and all these things that I'm doing on the charts, I'm going to. So these are the various rejectional levels. So if you are interested, kindly send me a WhatsApp message. My number is in the description. Kindly check it out and send me a message to join the June training, the June bootcamp. Okay, so the daily time frame, we're having this rejectional levels over here. So Looking at the H4 time frame, so price is currently in a consolidation. So you see the levels over here. You see the levels over here. We have a lot of levels at this point. A lot of levels at this point. So you're having a lot of levels at this point. Okay. So you see, when you see a lot of rejectional levels, what it should tell you is what we are going to be having a lot of what price is going to range. When you see something of this sort, what it should tell you is what price is going to range. Okay, what it should tell you is what price is going to range. Looking at the daily time frame, the trend is what daily time frame trend is what a downtrend. Looking at the H4 time frame trend is also a downtrend, so it's perfect. Okay, it's kind of very, very perfect. So at this point, if not the range, okay, if not the price is currently in the range, maybe. So as I said, it's Monday, so what you're expecting, or what I'm expecting from GBP CAD is what the same thing as we indicated on GBP USD. I want price, maybe this one, to come down. You should see a resistance at this point. Then we take the continuation of the trend. Then we take the continuation of the trend. That's what I'm expecting it to happen on GBP USD. So that's what I'm expecting it to happen on GBP USD. So let's look at so GBP USD. With GBP USD, as I indicated, I'm waiting. I'll take a buy. So GBP CAD is the same. I'll take a buy. So with GBP JPY, this was one currency pair that was looking good, but looking at this one has spoiled everything. This kind of rejectional level has spoiled everything. So if the trend is not clear to me, I don't, mostly from my experience, I don't normally force things. So this is where we kind of had a change in trend or a shift in trend. Okay, so I don't want to force things. If there's no clarity, I'll move to different currency pair, which is going to give me clarity. So I'm not interested in this one. What I'm interested is for price to come to this level. Price to come to this level. Then we take the continuation of the trend. That's what I'm interested in. Or maybe we can get a shift in trend at the H4 time frame. Then we get a continuation of the trend. Then okay, something of that sort can happen on GBP JPY. So let's move to USD CHF. Yeah, so what I told you about on the trade analysis, the past trade that I missed, that a similar one over here. This is a similar one. So you see, as price got to this side, we had the continuation of the move. Okay, so it's the same thing that happened on GBP CAD at the time. So this one, if it were to be an active market section, this one happened on Friday, June. Okay, June on Friday. This is what happened over here, but the timing was very bad. So this one too, this is how we could have taken advantage of this move. This is how we could have taken advantage of this move, but we miss. It happened at the wrong timing. This is how we could have taken advantage of the move, but as I indicated, it happened at the wrong timing. Yeah, so let me see the time. Yeah, so this is where I could have taken, if it were to be active market section, maybe I'll place my stop loss over here, but the zone was kind of very, very small. The zone was very small. So I'm very sure if you go to the lower time frame, you could have gotten an entry over here. So this is where the entry could have been, but the zone was very small. I wouldn't have taken this trade. The zone was very, very small. Yeah, so I would have been in over here. Yeah, so this would have been the target, but the zone was very small. The tradable zone was very, very small. So this is how I would have taken the trade. Okay, but the zone was very small. So you see, as price got to the zone, what happened? We had what? Exhaustion candles. Okay, it looks like sellers are losing control in the market. So that's how you need to treat the entry when it comes to trade entry. So you see, the moment, so this is not magic. You see, as price got to the rejectional level, what happened? Price made a deep pullback. So that's why we mostly pay attention to those levels. Okay, so this level, anytime you are taking a trade and price will get to this level, you will either break even, okay, bring your stop loss to below or above entry levels, because what is going to happen is we can get a rejection. Okay, price can make a deep pullback, so break even in case. So you see this one, there was a deep pullback. You don't know whether the trend is going to be invalidated. You don't know if maybe the market is going to move like the uptrend, the movement is going to be very, very, you don't know of that. Okay, so when price gets to this level, the most important thing you need to do is break even, bring your stop loss to an entry level, so that's you don't get hit by the market, because nothing is guaranteed in this market. So one thing you need to always focus on is capital protection. Protect your capital as always. Okay, so this is how I would have taken the trade, but it happened at the wrong timing on Friday 5 p.m. like lending close, so I wasn't interested. So what we are expecting on USD CHF, let's look at the daily time frame. Yeah, so USD CHF, it's not my favorite pair anymore. And even if getting a 9 setup on it, it's kind of, I remember last month or so, I had a trade, a sell on US. This thing really stressed me. Okay, the stress that I went through that trade, and finally it moved. The sell was around the side. The stress that I went, this trade took me. Yeah, I think it was the side. I took a sell over here. It's consolidated, finally moved, but it's never moved as expected. Yeah, so at this point, looking at the daily time frame, price is the trend is a downtrend at the daily time frame. Okay, the trend is a downtrend. Looking at the H4 time frame, with the H4 time frame trend, with the H4 time frame, there was a rejectional level at this point. There was a rejectional level at this point. There was another rejectional level at this point at the H4 time frame. So price is kind of in a range at this point. So since it is a downtrend, daily is a downtrend, we need to wait for a breakout of the breakout from the zone. So trading is more about patience. Like most often, what we do is we wait. Okay, so we are now going to wait for price to break, give us a pullback, then we take the continuation of the trend. So of the trend. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a continuation of the trend, but we're having a lot of the zones are not big. Okay, so today is Monday, so maybe as time goes on in the course of the week, we can get a breakout, then we get a clean zones. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting on USD CHF. So let's look at USD CAD. So Mondays are mostly formation days. Mondays are formation days. The market is now forming. Okay, so you don't have to rush things. So looking at the daily time frame, over here, we have this rejectional level over here. So it's also in it is also in a range at the daily time frame. So looking at the H4 time frame, the H4 time frame trend is an uptrend. Okay, so since an uptrend, we can get the trend continuation. So let's wait for a support to be formed over here. Let's wait for a support to be formed over here. Then we take the continuation of the move. Then we get a continuation of the move. So that's what I'm expecting it to happen on. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting on USD CAD. Price forming a support over here. Then we take the continuation of the move, because the H4 time frame is what? An uptrend. So this kind of a counter trend at the daily time frame. It's kind of a counter trend at the daily time frame. Yeah, so that's what I'm expecting on USD CAD. So looking at AUD CAD, yeah, so this can be the trade for the week because it has broken out from the zone. So let's do a fresh analysis on AUD CAD. This will be the trade for the week. So let me take my time and break it down. Okay, because it's looking good. So looking at AUD CAD, looking at the AUD CAD, you're having this rejectional level over here. There was another rejectional level over here. So looking at the weekly time frame, so let's look at the weekly candle. So the previous weekly candle, you see it has given us a support over here. So we are expecting a continuation of the trend to this level. So as I'm saying, with the weekly, we are not interested in the trends and those stuffs. So the weekly time frame trend is what? The trend, these are the various reactional levels. So let's look at the zones, the tradable zones. So the tradable zone is like 26 pips. It's not enough this weekly time frame. We were expecting more than that. So it's not enough. But let's see. So let's move to the daily time frame. So with the daily time frame, there was a reactional level over here. So for you to, it's not clear, but for us to see it clearly, we need to change it to a line chart. So if you turn it to a line chart, these are the various reactional levels. So let's move to the H4 time frame. So at the H4 time frame, these are the various reactional levels. So the daily time frame trend, is what? Let's shift it to a down. So the daily time frame trend is what? An uptrend. H4 time frame trend is what? An uptrend. Okay, it's an uptrend. So what I'm expecting is what? A pullback. Then I take a buy on this one. Take a buy to this level, or maybe price can break out from this zone, get a minor pullback, then you take the continuation or get a continuation to this level. So that's what I'm expecting on what AUD CAD. It's looking good because the daily H4 is in the same trend or is the same direction. We're expecting a continuation of the trend, then we take the buy. So AUD CAD should be on top of my watch list because I'm going to be having, so since they are positive correlated pairs with the NZD CAD, so it's also NZD CAD is also doing the same thing, but with the NZD CAD there are a lot of ranges. So let's move to the monthly time frame on NZD CAD. So at the monthly time frame, we don't have any zones. So the zones at the monthly time frame is kind of very clean. Looking at the weekly time frame zone, the reactional levels. So the various reactional levels, you have another reactional level over here. There was another reactional level too at this point. Okay, so looking at the daily time frame. So with the daily time frame, there's a reactional level over here at the daily time frame. Okay, so looking at the daily trend, the trend is what? The trend at the daily time frame is an uptrend. It's kind of it has printed something like a barcode. So this is what we call pure ranging market. So equal highs and equal lows, equal equal highs, equal lows. This is what so you need a breakout. So let's move to, so this is a daily time frame. Maybe it can be a trending market at the smaller time frame. So looking at the H4 time frame, the trend is what, an uptrend. So you just want a pullback, then you take the continuation of the trend. Okay, the range at this point is kind of, we need a pullback, then we get a continuation of the trend. So that's what I'm expecting on NZD CAD. And with Euro CAD, so it's kind of, the CAD pairs are falling in love with the CAD pairs. It's kind of, it moves very well with the CAD pairs, no doubt. GBP CAD, AUD CAD, they moved very well, and I love, it's kind of, it trends. Okay, it's kind of, it trend very well. USD CAD, so now my favorite pairs are USD CAD, GBP CAD, AUD CAD, NZD CAD, and GBP JPY. It's also kind of, if you get a good position on GBP CAD, you can buy a house. You can buy a house on GBP, on the JPY pairs too. But the JPY pairs, the one I love is what, GBP JPY, and the CAD pair, the ones that I love is USD CAD, GBP CAD. I really love them. It gives opportunity every week based on how I trade. It gives opportunity. I really love the CAD pairs. So looking at Euro CAD, price is currently close to what, a reactional level over here. There's this reactional level over here. So at this point, if you have not given a like to the video or the stream, kindly give a like to the stream. Okay, kindly give a like to the stream. If you have not subscribed to the channel, one thing I've noticed is what, a lot of people come and just tap into the knowledge, they don't subscribe. That is evil. That is evil this. Come watch, get all the nuggets, and you don't subscribe. That is it's evil. Please stop doing those things. If you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. Kindly share the channel to your friends and your groups. If you're having a group, a Forex group, you can share the channel to them for them to experience how to trade profitably. Okay, so you watching and not subscribing is evil. Please stop doing those things. Stop. Subscribe. You see the value I'm giving it to you for free. A lot of people started following me and they've stopped blowing their accounts. A lot of people started following me and now they are making money. A lot of people started following me. They are passing profits. Okay, so I don't need money from you. Just keep your money. What I need from you is what? Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Give a like to the stream too as well. I'm not taking anything from you. The only time I will take something from you is when you have joined my training. That's the only time I will take something from you, and that is also peanuts. People are charging more than that. So kindly subscribe if you have not subscribed. Share the link to your friends and family. Your family members, share to them. Okay, let them experience how to trade profitably. So at the monthly time frame, these are the various reactional levels. If you have any question, kindly drop. In case maybe you have a chart, you are trading a currency pair, you want me to have a look at it, you can drop it in the chat box. If you have any question, okay, anything bothering you, you can drop it in the chat box. Okay, so this will be the last currency pair. So looking at the weekly time frame, you having this reactional level over here. You're having another reactional level over here. So looking at the daily time frame, wow, price is kind of ranging. It's ranging. So the daily time frame is printing barcode. So looking at the H4, oh, it's not something to trade. This is not tradable, this thing. So Euro CAD, we are expecting to see a pullback, clear pullback. Okay, you want to see a clear pullback or maybe a breakout to give us a clarity. We need a clarity. So I'm not going to touch Euro CAD for today. Okay, I'm not going to touch euro card for today. So that's all for the currency pair. So the one on my on top of my watch list is AUD card. Okay, but I'm not sure this is going to happen today. Yeah, so far. And okay, GBP USD too is also, you want a resistance to form over here. So I think GBP USD can happen today. Let me check GBP card too. Okay, so GBP card too is kind of also closing below the zone that we had at the daily time frame. So this is what you're expecting. Yeah, so far let me bring it on top. GBP JPY, not interested. USD CHF, also not interested. Yeah, and USD card too. So these are GBP USD, GBP card, USD card. These are the pairs that I'll be watching it for today. Okay, so if you are new to the channel, kindly can subscribe to the channel. Give a like to the give a like to the video, the stream. If you have any question, kindly drop your question in the chat box. So we are done with the chart breakdown. So let me check the indices too. Let me check the indices. The indices are ranging. The indices are ranging. Okay. So the daily time frame is currently got into this reactional level. So we need to get a breakout before we can go involved. So today is Monday, no rushing. Okay, no rushing. So at this point, trade safe, don't rush things, kindly be patient with yourself. And as I said earlier, the only way you are going to be successful is stop doing your wrongdoings. A lot of people don't even pay attention to their wrong actions. So let me show you something over here. Let me show you something. Where is it? Let me show you something. So you see my notebook. I keep track of every activities, everything that I'm doing. I wanted to show you something, but I'm not seeing where. So I'm not. So you see, I hope you people are seeing it. Let me know. You see the records I'm taking. This is what you call data. So you see, this is not what do you call it? Yeah. So the trades that aligns with my setup, I've written them over here with the date it happened, the time, and the kind of setup that happened. You get it? So this is serious business. I don't know whether you people can see it. This is serious business. I've written everything down, and the setup I'm going to be taking this week, everything is written down. My trading checklist. So these are my trading checklist over here. Let me read it loud to you. So you need to, if you are not seeing your wrongdoings in trading, then you are just deceiving yourself. If you are not seeing your wrongdoings, then you are just gambling. Okay, trading with no rules is gambling. So I have in my trade checklist, no trading on Mondays for currencies. So when currencies, I'm not going to trade on Mondays. Why am I saying I'm not going to trade on Mondays? Because of my past experience, because of my past losses. I used to be losing a lot on Mondays. I said no, I've just looking back to my watch list, I noticed that Mondays are not good for me. No trading on Mondays for currencies. Any currency pairs, I'm out on Mondays. I don't trade them. Unless maybe gold, NAS, the indices, that's fine. But on currencies, I'm not going to trade on Mondays. If a trader B is trading on Mondays, that's fine. That's for him. But for me, I don't trade on Mondays. If someone is trading, it's fine. That's for him. Okay, but for me, on Mondays, currencies, I'm not trading. Don't trade and out news events. So this is my trade checklist. You see the notes? I'm not gambling. I'm mean business. You get it? I've written everything down. How did I know this? I got to understand by what? Experience. I got to understand by watching my past history or my past data. Okay, I've written a lot of rules over here. Don't trade within the hours leading to pre-market and active. I remember last time, I don't know whether Brainy is on the stream. That was last Thursday, GBP card. He told me he's already in the trade, and I told him I'm not going to enter now unless pre-lending session. And I said he's going to pull back. Exactly, the market pulled back deeply. You get it? So I said don't trade within the hours leading to pre-market or active or main session or pre-market section. So an hour to pre-market section, I don't trade. So don't buy. Okay, these are technical things. Trading hours starts on maybe 6 a.m. GMT to 4 p.m. GMT. That is daylight savings. Don't take a trade when this is technical. NFP weeks are freaky. The first week of the month on NFP trade Mondays and Tuesdays. So it's kind of Wednesdays, Thursdays are kind of very free. So you see, I'm having rules over here. So if you are trading and you don't have rules for yourself, you are not going to be successful. That is a hard truth. Okay, that is it's hard truth to grasp. So if you are here and if you want to join the June training, all these things I'm going to tell you, I'm going to break everything down. The reason I'm saying all these things, you are going to do back testing, everything for you to get to understand. So if you are here and you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe. And if you want to join the training too, you can just WhatsApp me. My WhatsApp number is on the description. This thing, you can just check it out and chat me up. So see you guys same time next week. It can either be on Thursday. By now Thursdays are not certain, so if I feel like coming, I'll come. Okay, so can go back to the stream and watch, and I think you are going to learn one or two stuffs over there. So see you same time. Bye. Trade safe. Have a nice weekend. Oh Charlie. Okay, bye bye to you all.